Hello friends, my name is Katie from Eternal Flame, and today I thought I'd do a walkthrough of my second week in my Hobonichi weeks for 2021. If you're interested, please stick around, but before we get right into it, I wanted to, talk about fountain pens. So fountain pens are a new area for me. I am definitely a beginner user of fountain pens. In my first video in the Hobonichi weeks, I had purchased this Muji fountain pen for I think $20. It included one cartridge and two refill cartridges. I had not liked it in my Hobonichi weeks on a Tomoe River paper because I found it wasn't drying, but at the time I did not have blotting paper, which you can see here. I have since invested in this Herbin blotting paper. I think it was 10 of these sheets for around $10 to $11. And since then, I have also had time to experiment with this pen in my bullet journals. So I actually have a bullet journal for work, and this is now what I use this Muji fountain pen for. I think this was the fine nib, and it's performing very well. It writes very smooth on that paper. It's not anything special. I think I picked it the bullet journal I picked up at Michael's on clearance, probably for $6. And if you're interested in seeing how I set up my work bullet journal, please let me know in the comments section down below. I'm not sure if that's of interest, but this is performing really well on that paper, and it does dry. I think it really is just not a great pair with the Tomoe River paper, which is fine because this is definitely, like I've said in the past, a learning process on what pens work here. And then I think when you finally do find something that does work here on this type of paper, it's just so enjoyable and a lot of fun. So I'm going to set this aside. It's a great pen, fountain pen. It's just not great for my needs in my Hobonichi planners. So since then, I've, like I said, invested in this blotting paper, as well as a new fountain pen. This is nothing special. It's just a fountain pen. I think I picked up off Amazon for maybe $17, and it has a refillable cartridge in here. And basically, I don't want to open it up because like I said, I'm a beginner to fountain pens, and I'm afraid that I'm going to mess it up and it's just going to be a mess. But essentially, you open this portion up, you just twist it off, and then stick the tip of this pen into your ink and then twist the end. I had some difficulties doing or getting it to take the ink, but basically you have to, if you're interested in getting this pen or one like it, you have to submerge this handle portion into the ink so that this whole nib portion is submerged under the ink. And once I did that, it was very easy, went straight up, and was able to use it right away. So this was about $17. It's an extra fine nib, which I love because I write very tiny, and the ink, which I think is arguably the more important part, or at least for me thus far, is this De Atramentis archive ink that I purchased also on Amazon. I think it came out to $30 after shipping because it's not like a Prime eligible item. But this has been working really well for me. So it actually dries very quickly, and I think I can show you back here too on my pen test page, which is kind of a mess. I just went wild after a while. Was it here? Oh, I had two pen test pages. Actually, over here, so this is the De Atramentis archive ink in this fountain pen right here. And as you can see, I was able to use my Tombow dual brush pens to highlight over it afterwards. And then this one was the Coleograph pens from Archer and Olive. So, and I honestly didn't, this must have been like 5 minutes that I let it sit. So it doesn't take that long. But yeah, so I just wanted to share that with you guys. It's been working out great, and you're going to see that I use this pen going forward. It is a lot of fun. I still use my Pigma Micron 005 just because it dries almost instantly, so I don't have to wait. And I do, when I'm planning functionally, I do move around a lot, even journaling too. So I have smudged the fountain pen. It's part of the beauty and the fun, I think, of using a fountain pen. But yeah, so this is still my go-to pen. But yeah, so let's get right into it. So this is my second week in the Hobonichi weeks. As I had mentioned, the first week was from the 29th to the 5th, and I have a video covering how I set this up. I'm going to link it in the cards up above. But this week, we're going to talk very quickly about December 6th to the 12th. So I really like the idea of splitting my layout into 4 columns. So I carried that through into the second week and continued with the leftmost column being for major events in a day, you know, any major reminders, using my washi dot stickers to indicate, you know, the days I went on site, how many hours I spent there, just really playing around with my stickers from Sticky Club. This one, I don't know if you've seen my video on the Hobonichi cousin, but I've been using these stickers from Dear Lizzie. Let me see if I can find it really quick. Ah, yes. So this is the sticker book by Dear Lizzie. I picked up at Staples on sale for like $2 and I don't know, 40 cents. So I've been using that here. And what I love about it is, so actually this was to cover up mistakes in my handwriting or smudges or things that I wanted to change. And I was basically, so last week I used this space to track my meals, and it wasn't enough space to include what we actually ate or even where we ate. So sorry, this is so for the following week I thought maybe to track my mood, because my emotions were all over the place this past week. As you can see, I was sad, angry, and then finally hopeful. I'm also using this third column. Sorry, I skipped over the second column. This third column to track weather still. Some days I are blank, so you can see like I don't check every day, which I really should, and I'm trying to get in the habit of it. But definitely anytime it rains, I do know about it, and I love my Sticky Club sticker sheet for rainy days. I actually don't know what I'm going to do when I run out of stickers from that sheet. But yeah, so this here, I'm so happy. So this was actually, I took one of the Happy Planner stickers that tend to be longer in length, and I cut it down to fit my cousin in one of the spreads, and I had these leftover pieces of I guess like this navy blue color that I thought tied in well with these DIY stickers in the header. So I used it to cover some things up, and then I used this gel pen that I just received in my December 2021 subscription box from Archer and Olive. It came with, I think, a set of, I'm looking around my office to see if I could find it. I think it was a set of 6 different pens, and I think 2 of them were in white. There's no markings on these, but I think they're, from my memory, it's 0.6 millimeter tip. And here, I'll just show you really quick. I love the way it writes, and it dried. And, you know, there was a little bit of smudging, but it wasn't really a big deal. And this, honestly, this made me really excited. Like, having them providing, I guess in the subscription box, these gel pens has me excited to try out the many blackout notebooks that they've been sending in and craft notebooks that they've been sending in the subscription boxes, because prior to this I haven't really had, I guess, the tools or the excitement to utilize those notebooks. They've kind of just been sitting there, but now they're actually helping me out in my Hobonichi planners too. So that's that, another new item. So this second column here that I skipped over, same thing as the previous week. Basically, the detailed tasks in a day, I kept it to 5 each day or less. And I used my Hobonichi basic stencil that I recently hauled from JetPens. This was $8 to just fill those in. And I had mentioned in the previous week, I like the idea of moving the checklist, the check boxes from left to right, so that there's not just this big empty space on the right side. It kind of keeps it fun and gives me space for stickers. And so lastly is this fourth column, which is basically the most important tasks and to-do list for the week, my priority list. As you can see, I didn't do a very good job, so hopefully today I will kind of be able to knock some of it off. I guess I was saving it all for the weekend. It's been pretty busy at work, so I guess that's my excuse for not knocking things off my personal checklist. And then down here, it's just a little space for me to journal, and I actually covered it up with this post-it because it has some private information on there. And I even used this tiny space down here to journal a little bit related to this sticker with the little dog and a top hat. And basically, I'd like to find I guess a new jacket for my husband so that he can dress a little fancier, maybe not quite this fancy. And then down here was this this weekly tracker that I was hoping to use to motivate me to do the things that I want to do in a week. Unfortunately, as you can see, because I've been so busy, I actually have not, very embarrassingly, I have not had a chance to read. So then today is Sunday, and that's why this is not populated yet, so I'll probably do this later. And then I just wanted to do a quick walkthrough of how I set up my third week in the Hobonichi weeks. All right, so this brings us into our third week. Once again, I just used my December color-coded washi tape to, I guess, tie in December, that month. And I'm trying to keep it rather minimal, but as you can see, it's already filling up. So I basically went and I flipped to my December monthly calendar. I just check the week that we're walking into and we're setting up and relay that information to this spread. And as you can see by all the washi dot stickers, there's just so much going on this upcoming week that I actually might get a little bit confused here. So I tried to tie those reminders in with a note. And I think this is a really great example of where I started using the new fountain pen and the Atramentis archive ink. So any of the handwriting on this page was done with the fountain pen, and these check boxes were done with my Pigma Micron because I have to move the stencil back and forth, and it's just make sure that it doesn't smear. Yep, so that's what I have here, the major events in a day, any reminders, the fact that it's payday, just some sticky club stickers here and here. And then over here, I'm not sure what I'm going to use this for. Definitely weather related, I guess, reminders. And oh, and another difference from previous weeks I'm trying this week is I used my Pigma Micron in previous weeks to delineate the different days and then to carry that, I guess, table or spread over to the right side, the gridded side. This week, I decided to use my new mechanical pencil from Daiso to relay that information or to draw the lines. I found it to be easier and less stressful because honestly, I tend to be a perfectionist, and when drawing these lines, because the paper kind of moves and things, it's never really that straight and it drives me insane. So I think the pencil is working out well for me and it's not as bold. So we'll see how it goes by the end of the week, but thus far I'm liking it. So we have the 4 columns again, and the 5th column, I tried to change it up a bit and it was a little intimidating, but I'm trying to move away from journaling in my Hobonichi weeks just because I have the Hobonichi cousin and the A6 to be able to do that in. I didn't want to take up this precious space in the tiny Hobonichi weeks to journal. So the way I did that this week was to turn this whole area into a checklist because I'm just so overwhelmed, and I know this week is going to be so busy. I just really need to stay focused on the things that are most important, which I think is really helpful to have here. So I was a little intimidated by how many checkboxes I would need to populate and then check off, especially looking at my track record this past week. Which actually just means that I have a lot more to migrate over. So this has worked out so far. I plan to add the checkboxes here, and basically I decided to separate the tasks related to school out because it's really coming down to the deadline of starting school, so I really need to get those things done. But what was interesting here was this little penguin. I'm experimenting with stamping in my Hobonichi planners, and the reason I did this, so I meant to line up all of the supplies so I can share that with you. So if you give me one moment, I'm gonna go grab that. All right, so I was going to show you how I basically made this label here. Before I do, I received a lot of questions about how I make my DIY, I guess, planner stickers using my Cricut machine. Starting off with, you know, what type of sticker paper do I use? And so this isn't, I'm going to show you the sticker paper that I use and where I get all of my sticker paper from. It's not directly I guess, answering the question of the sticker paper for these stickers up here. However, I am working on a video to cover all the details of that process. It's just, it is, making stickers is not easy. But I think once you get the hang of it and you're doing it for yourself, it can be easy, if that makes sense. I don't know, but it's definitely worth it to buy stickers that are handmade. I think from shops on like Etsy and things, not only to support the small businesses, but it can be really frustrating sometimes when it comes to like cut settings, misprints or miscuts. Like it just, I've spent hours just banging my head against the desk before fixing things. So hopefully it isn't as difficult for you guys, and I can put together a video that makes it as simple as possible. But it's definitely worth purchasing stickers when you find stickers that you love, especially with design. Like I'm not great with designing stickers. So I'm definitely, to me, it's worth it to pay someone. But yeah, so I purchased all of my sticker paper from online labels, and I'm sure there are better options out there, but because I don't have a sticker shop, I haven't experimented. If you're really into it, I would recommend experimenting with different companies and brands and different types of paper, because it really does make a difference, especially if you're using it in your planner. You're going to want stickers that you can maybe see through or peel up, or that doesn't warp your page. But most importantly, for example, you want something that you can write on. So this is a great example of a type of sticker paper that you can write on. This is a craft brown or brown craft paper in the 8.5 by 11. It doesn't come pre-cut or anything, so you do either need to cut it out by hand or stick it into a like cutting machine like the Silhouette or the Cricut. And I don't remember how much this was, but I will include this number in the description down below so you can reference back to it. So basically, in order to make this, it was super simple. Prior to getting into Hobonichi planners, I actually used to use Happy Planners. So I had this leftover, this like Happy Planner punch left over from that, and I hadn't actually used it in my Happy Planner. It's so weird. But I broke it out recently. One, because I was cleaning my office, but two, because I was wrapping presents and I couldn't find for the life of me the gift tags that I had purchased in the past. So I was like, I need something, because I started wrapping presents and I lose track of them very quickly. So what I did was I took one of these sticker sheets, and I'll just show you really quick. They just look like this. It's kind of like it's pretty thick, so maybe not my first choice for using in the Hobonichi planners because the sheets are so thin. But I just punched these out. It's kind of cool because you can see like this window here. You could do a few at a time. Just pop them out. And I did that. And then I just used these stamps that I picked up in the past, I think from Michael's, and it was probably on clearance after Christmas. And this Craft Smart ink pad just from Michael's again, in black. And I just kind of stamped these little guys on these little, I guess, these little labels. And that's what I used down here. So hopefully that added some value to you. For you guys, but that's how I did that, and I think that's the only section I'm gonna have for journaling. If at that, I might even just put like a quote or something there, maybe even a word. But yeah, so that is my setup for this 3rd week in December. And then my next video should be on the 4th week into Christmas. Like I started setting it up already and then realized that I should probably try again to film a plan with me video. I actually tried that with this spread, but I don't know, it's probably it's so hard to film live. And then I stopped filming it and realized that it probably was fine, so I should have kept filming. But yeah, so I will try to do that in the following week. Awesome, that was a really long video. Thank you guys for sticking around. If you liked it, please remember to give the video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye everyone.